This is one of my favorite plants. It's one of the first plants I learned, and I think a lot of kids learn this plant as one of their first ones. And it is much maligned by the lawn aficionado, the dandelion. You know, you see all these damn herbicides that get sprayed on people's lawns, and there's always pictures of dandelions, like the evil dandelion. This plant is a colonist that got brought over with our ancestors, and by our ancestors I mean white people mostly. And it's called dandelion because its leaf, I'm going to try not to pick it unless I need to, was thought to look like the tooth of a lion. Dandelion is French, tooth of the lion. One of the ways to identify a dandelion, and there are some lookalikes, is there'll be one flower per stalk. So when you look at this stalk, there's only one flower at the top. If you see two flowers, it's not a dandelion. Another way to tell, and I will eat this, I never want to take anything from a plant unless I have a really good reason. So I'll take this stem. Probably can't see it, maybe you can. It's hollow. And I don't know how good this camera is, but there's a little bit of milky latex around the edge. There's two other ways to tell you got a dandelion. The flower, every part of the dandelion is edible. The flower is actually pretty sweet if you take the time to peel off the green part. Like when people make really good dandelion wine, it'll be really sweet. It'll taste like sunshine if you just use the flowers. The green part's a little bitter, but that's good for you. Bitter's a flavor that we have let kind of fall by the wayside in our culture. We're addicted to sweet, and spicy, and savory, but bitter's actually really good for our body. So when you run into edible bitter, that's a good thing. Like I said, we need the flower. I was told that eating one part of the dandelion a day is better than any combination of vitamins that you could eat. So I used to be really good about picking a dandelion leaf or eat a dandelion flower every day, because you can find some part of it almost anywhere, any time of year. You can slow roast the roots to make a coffee substitute. If you're a coffee lover like me, it doesn't really taste that much like coffee, but it does taste more like it's some kind of coffee than some kind of tea. So it's better than nothing if you don't have, you know, the coffee that you're used to. Let's see, what else to be said about dandelion? I used to make a tea. It's considered just an all-around good tonic tea, just good for your whole body, particularly your circulatory system. So when you take things that are good for your blood's feeding everything. It's related to everything. So if it's good for your blood, it's good for your body. And this is one of those plants. It's an all-around good tonic. I just pick the leaves, put them in a cup, pour hot water on it, let it sit until it's cool enough for me to drink, and there, I've got a really nutritious tonic. Is there anything you can think of to say about dandelion, Teresa?
Well, you were talking about making wishes on it.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Of course, we learn about dandelions. If we have a good childhood, as we're taught to make wishes on a dandelion, so when you have a full dandelion seed head, and I'm going to pick this one because this plant is waiting for a wind or for somebody with the breath to do it, to disperse these seeds. So I'm doing this plant a favor when I pick it. And that's something I always want to remember, is this dandelion is not just this thing I own. It's not just this thing in my garden. It's alive. It wants to live just like I do. And people that don't think a plant has a will, I mean, when you pull a dandelion, I can feel it gripping the earth. It wants to be here. All I have to do is have the humility to listen. So I'm very careful when I pick a plant. And ideally, I think it's good when you're harvesting a plant to talk to it. And myself included, you can feel kind of silly, you know, asking like, you know, is it okay if I pick you? But I think that's part of the practice, is it's our ego that makes us feel silly. It's being taught that we own everything, so why should we have to talk to some meager plant? But that's exactly what you should be practicing working on. So if it makes you feel silly, do it. So, dandelion, is it okay if I take this seed head? And then I stop and I take the time to listen. And actually I did feel a little bit of tension in my stomach. I wasn't expecting that, so I don't want to take that seed head. So, take this one. And I feel a little more relaxed about this. Is it perfect? Is the dandelion saying, pick me? No, but for somebody from our culture that hasn't been taught how to talk to anything, not even other people often, it's the best I can do. It's a beginning. So if I can blow it all off in one breath, I can get a wish. it's always hard for me to think of a wish because I feel like I'm pretty lucky in my life. All right, I got one. I'm gonna call that good enough. I think I got that one. And yeah, that's all I can think of to say about dandelion. Just leave them in your yard, like use them. That's one of the most useful plants. It drives me crazy that people are pulling up things like dandelions to make gardens when there's these things that are volunteering, that are begging to be used, already offered. I mean, to me, that's a beautiful thing that they're offered. You don't have to work. It's a pure gift. So put your energy elsewhere, you know? So thank you, dandelions. That's it.